Hey everybody, welcome to the Stock Car Spectacle. I'm Ian Jortson.
And I'm Mike Gamble.
Nick Kinzel's off tonight, but we're gonna get right into it with our diecast of the week. Mikey, what you got for us, bud?
All right, we're going to a road course this week. So I'm going to try to bring some good juju to the 12 team here. We're going to throw it back to Ryan's first road course slash Roval win, the Charlotte inaugural Roval race win.
There you go, with that beautiful emoji of himself on the side of the car as well.
Yeah, it looks like a 45-year-old man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, those were strange when they did that year.
I mean, yeah, was not a fan of. There were more bad than good ones too, is the thing.
Yeah, especially the ones that still had the white block. Some of them got rid of
Yeah.
it, but no, some of them still kept it. Like it came out of a JPEG image, but but yeah, that's a cool diecast, man. Definitely that's the one where Jimmy just basically handed it to him.
Yeah, cost himself the next round of the playoffs too. That was
Yep,
fantastic.
no kidding. Alrighty, so for my diecast of the week, Mr. Kevin Harvick just got his 60th career Cup Series win. So we got to throw it back to his rookie days. We're actually going to throw it back to my first.
Oh man.
This is my first ever diecast that I've owned. Kevin Harvick's Tasmanian Devil Good Wrench car with the rookie stripes on there. I've had this thing probably since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I remember this was always sitting in my bedroom when I was a kid, and I always loved this diecast. So I'm surprised how good a shape it is in after going through like 20 years of me owning this.
Yeah, that thing's in great shape for as long as you've had it. What
Oh
a
yeah.
die cast, too.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite diecasts that I own. And it's like a real, like, good heavy duty diecast. It's not some cheap Walmart shit.
Yeah, that's that old school. Who used to make them before Lionel? Racing
Yeah,
Champions.
Racing Champions. Those diecasts are the best diecasts ever made. Lionel cannot compete with them.
No, because the detail was better, the quality, like you said, the cars were heavier too.
Mm-hmm.
Those old school elites, man, they weigh a
Oh,
ton.
oh yes, they do. But all right, how about we get into it, dude? Your boy,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Ryan Blaney, just signed a long-term extension deal with Penske Racing. They didn't say, they usually never say how long it's going to be, but he is in there for the long run. I think that's just great for old YRB.
He could go from in his whole time at Penske from young Ryan Blaney to lower back playing Ryan Blaney all in one contract. So
Yep.
no, it's great news. Obviously, anytime your drivers get locked up with a really competitive team, and I know a lot of people are going to say, he hasn't won this year, but they've been putting themselves in positions, week in and week out. They're always running in the top five. Seems like 4 out of every 5 races, he's consistently running in the top five, at least the top 10, giving themselves chances. That's what you want to see. Excited to see him go forward with this team, and we'll see what happens after this year.
Yeah. And yeah, like you were saying with him not having a win this year, I mean, dude, he's only second in regular season points, but don't matter. You got to get that win. We only got one playoff spot left. So we're going to a few tracks where he can get it done. We got Watkins Glen. We got freaking Daytona coming up. We know that's his bread
Hmm.
and butter right there. So we got to,
Defending champ of that race.
yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it's a little scary times right now for Blaney, but he's got a few chances to get it done. But it's just crazy to see how consistent he is, and he might not even make the playoffs. That's just how this thing works now, man.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to it. Again, they all know the rules when they sign up, but just wild to see, right or wrong, the guy who's second in the points could potentially not make the playoffs.
Yeah, just absolutely blows my mind. But cool for number 12. We'll see him in that car for a long time. Let's get into Richmond. And man, oh man, that truck series race was a freaking snooze fest, man. It was just follow the leader. It was just like one lane of racing really the whole time. Whoever got out front on the restart was basically the leader up until a caution or the stage end. So wasn't really a whole much of excitement. This was probably the most boring truck race I've seen this season.
I would have to agree too. Usually I'm the one on our show waving the flag for the truck series, and yeah, this was just Not one of their best races. Like you said, Ian, you see a lot of just single file. Didn't seem like the outside lane could work quite as much as it would with the Cup Series a couple days later. Just
Mhm.
really not much going on.
No, not one bit, because we had Ty Majeski. He led the field to green and then won the first stage. And Chandler Smith, he came out restart first. He won the second stage and he was just leading the whole time and he ended up winning the race. So not a whole lot going on the track. We had a few, like one wreck, I think, but really not a whole lot going on with this race. So Chandler Smith, now he's locked into the next round for the playoffs along with Grant Enfinger. We got one more race in the round of 10 with these boys. So, and they don't race until Kansas. So they got a
Right.
long time. And that's the thing that I just hate about the truck series is that their schedule is so spread out. You got some of these guys who are maybe just getting momentum, trying to get themselves in the next round. And then this, two, three, actually, yeah, 3 weeks that they're taking off just kills it.
Well, it's a big killer if you're in the position like my buddy Ben Rhodes here, having issues
Yeah.
all night. Now he's got 3 weeks to stew upon, kind of not have to, but it's definitely in their best interest to come out and run well at this next race. So a lot of time to stew it over. If you're our victor, you've got a lot of time to celebrate and really, get ready for that next round now.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, the break could work in some guys' favor. It could hurt some guys. So, we'll see how it is when the guys go back racing at Kansas. So, let's get into the Cup Series race. Mr. Kyle Larson won the pole. And then right after that, he went to go fly out to Iowa for the Knoxville Nationals to go race in that. So, you don't really see a whole lot of guys do that. So, pretty wild to see.
No, but we know that's the MO with Kyle Larson. He's
Oh,
out
yeah.
there, running dirt just as much as Mr. H will let him. So yeah, wild because not a lot of guys do it, but not a surprise it's him doing it.
No, not one bit. That guy is a freaking badass on the track. Mr. Ross Chastain, he won stage one. And then we had Ricky Stenhouse being Ricky Stenhouse. He's trying to get on pit road. He misses the commitment line, goes back up the track, and he just basically tags the 19 of Truex, gives him some damage. So, I mean, does it surprise you anymore? Ricky Stenhouse doing dumb shit like that, man.
It's something we do happen to see, but really unfortunate luck for Mr. Martin Truex there. Just earlier we're talking about, Ryan Blaney being a pretty treacherous situation. Look at Truex now.
Yeah, this is one of his best tracks too, the way he went out with Richmond, and that basically just kind of killed his playoff chance. We got, a couple more races, but this was his best shot of getting in, and that Ricky just basically foiled it right there.
Absolutely. James Small and Martin had that one circled as there. If we're going to get in, here's our best shot. Not saying he can't win at Daytona because we've seen him do it before, but he hasn't quite been all that on the road courses this year as much as we've seen in the past. So it's looking like Daytona may have to be his shot now.
Yeah, I remember we always used to circle him for Sonoma, Watkins Glen. He was a
Hmm.
threat after Chase Elliott got his first win. I remember those two were duking it out for a while until Truex ran out of gas. So, yeah, maybe we'll see him do something at the Glen, a track that he's familiar with, but I don't know, man. The road course program for the 19 just isn't it this year. So Daytona it is. So it's kind of crazy now with one spot left in Daytona is the final race of the regular season. It just makes things that much crazier.
It does, and it's such a weird duality for the Toyota guys, talking about Truex. You're going into Watkins Glen, which is a race where, admittedly, the the Toyota package has not been good at the road courses this year. And
Mm-hmm.
then right after that, we're going to a super speedway where they may have the best package. So gonna be, very interesting dynamic to see, what ends up happening after that Daytona race, basically with multiple Toyota drivers who are going to have a chance to win and either become sleepers or, a guy like Truex who needs the win to get in.
Yeah. Or maybe someone like Bubba Wallace to play spoiler. He's been looking
Right.
faster and faster every week. Who knows if he can get it done at Daytona? So shit, it's gonna be wild.
Yes, it is.
Yep. So, uh, the day and night really with the truck race and the cup race, because this is some of the best racing that I have seen at Richmond in a long time. We saw a lot of passes for the lead, just a whole lot of passing in general with this track. It seemed that the outside line worked a hell of a lot more, but just back and forth racing. We saw it with Kyle Busch and Ty Gibbs, basically just duking out, see who's going to have that ride. And then Ty Gibbs got in front of him. So, yeah, I think Ty's going to have that 18. Sorry, Mr. Dalton. But yeah, just wild racing throughout this one. I just absolutely loved it.
It really did put on a show. You got to see guys, run multiple different lanes competitively. You got to see guys try to, dive in on the low line, really ride the line all the way around the track. And you also equally saw guys taking that outside line, hoping to get a little better corner exit, and both were fast. So depending on the different situations, you could see guys running multiple different lines, all both be competitive. Great race for the Cup Series here. And if I had to bet you which one was going to be the more boring race out of the two, you would have took the Cup every single time, right?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, with how bad all the short track races have been this year, I mean, even
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember even Richmond in the spring wasn't even that exciting as this one was. So yeah, really blew my mind that the trucks was the boring one out of this weekend.
That's 100% exactly what I would have said too. I would have bet on the Truck Series to be the more entertaining and wilder race 10 out of 10 times. But really happy to see it was the Cup Series this week. You know, like I said last show I was on, I felt like these last couple weeks here, the intensity is going to be going through the roof. And I think we saw that on Sunday.
Oh yeah, the next gen is just proving week after week after week that this is some great ass racing. You know, it changed up Michigan. That was the best
Yeah.
Michigan race that we have seen probably almost 20 years or so. So,
I mean, absolutely. That was, I would say Michigan was one of, if not the most entertaining race of the year, at least for me.
no,
That
I
was top to bottom, just nuts.
totally agree, man. So, yeah, next gen car is so far kicking ass throughout the year. So we had Joey Logano. He went on to win stage two, and then Mr. Kyle Busch got a little taste of the Melon Man. Poor Kyle Busch got chastained, just like his teammate Denny Hamlin. I mean, everyone's going to be falling victim one of these days, and happened to Mr. Rowdy. So, yeah, that sucks for Kyle Busch, but man, Ross Chastain, he is a menace on the track, man. You gotta look out for him every time you see that one car.
It was our weekly obligatory Ross Chastain wreck. So,
Yep.
I mean, we've talked about it and talked about it. It's as fast as that car's been all year, you're really taking yourself out of a chance to be able to win a championship, because now you've got 4 or 5 guys that will not allow you to win this championship. If
Oh
they get
yeah,
the chance, they're going to fence you in the playoffs and they're going to keep you from advancing to the next round. Just, I don't get it. At this point, you're well in enough on points. Just like make some friends, man.
dude. Soon enough, he's gonna have like a freaking mafia hit on him, man. You gotta look at. He's gotta watch his back.
I don't know if you saw this, but I saw on Twitter somebody made like a recreation of a screen grab from like NASCAR Thunder '04, where it had the rivalry system,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like everybody on the bottom, the whole field was red for rivals.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically how it's going for him this year. I mean, we saw it through his truck career, his Xfinity career, ever since he got into really competitive rides, that when he's got speed, he stops giving a fuck. So, Ross Chastain, he's here to stay because obviously Trackhouse loves him. He's a winner. So, he's here to stay. He's going to try and win championships and take out your bumper at the same time.
Well, he's here to stay because he's an incredibly talented driver.
Yeah.
I thought at some point, and maybe this year will be the lesson where it's like, hey, maybe we just have to back it down a notch or two every once in a while,
Yeah,
because,
chill the fuck out.
aggressive but selective, I think, is the way he kind of needs to think about
Yeah, do it like Dale did. Don't
it.
don't be a
Exactly.
don't be a complete asshole. But then Mr. Kevin Harvick, he is the closer. He got it done once again in the final stage, just ran away with it. Except Christopher Bell, he was actually kind of catching him there at the end because old Kevin forgot to shift in a few turns there. But hey, regardless, Kevin's the first driver to go back to back this year. Who would have thought, man? Who would have freaking thought? 2 weeks ago, I was saying it's all over. It's all over. And then he wins at Michigan. He gets the win in Richmond, and we're on top of the world again, man. I never thought I'd see the
Yeah,
day again.
you and Dakota looking at each other like that Paul Rudd gift. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
Not
right?
me. So, no, good for you guys, but I will have to ask you after these two wins for the four team, getting hot potentially at the right time, how are we feeling? Is it hype or is this for real?
I think this is for real. I really think that this team's found something because ever since about Sonoma, they started looking like a winning team again. He almost won that race, and Rodney said they've just been clicking off ever since then. Um, we saw, I don't want to make any big predictions here, but we saw with Tony Stewart in 2011. He got hot at the right time, right before the chase started, and then he just started winning. Like he won half of those races in the playoffs. So I'm not saying he's going to go and win the championship this year, but right now it's kind of looking like a Tony Stewart 2011 esque kind of season.
You know, Kevin Harvick is one of the most experienced and most talented drivers we've seen in a long time, certainly in the field today. I will never count him out. I think for me personally, this next week is going to be kind of the is this for real or is this just a flash in the pan fizzle? Because if he can come out and find another way to be, fast again here at the Glen, going from pretty big track, short track, and now a road course, and he's fast in all three, then I think they're firing. Then I think we can truly believe it. Again, I'm never going to
Mm.
count a guy like Kevin Harvick out. The experience factor there, the speed. Um, I just think we're really going to find out what we're working with here at Watkins Glen this Sunday.
Yeah, I think so because, like I said, Sonoma, he came like second or third. He would have won that race if it wasn't for his pit crew fucking it up. But so far, road courses have looked good for him this year with the next gen car. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, we're going to Watkins Glen to track that he's been racing for almost, over 20
Mm-hmm.
years now. So I'd say he's got a good chance of maybe getting the top five, top 10 here. That's all I'm kind of looking for is something consistent.
Yeah, if he's up there, I'll believe that four teams back for real.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, Mike, this is going to end our show here. You got anything else to add before we end it all?
Just an exciting week of racing in the Cup Series. Pleasantly surprised with what we saw on Sunday. Plenty of big storylines to lead us into next week at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, the Glen's going to be exciting. Make sure you guys tune in for our race preview for that. That should be up in a few days. But I want to thank you guys for joining our show. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram. If you haven't yet, make sure to like our video and subscribe to our channel. And you can also check us out on Spotify. So I'll wrap it up for us. I'm Ian Jortson,
I'm Mike Gamble.
and we'll see you guys next time.